Welcome back to Andersen Acres. Today we are talking about one of the most essential parts of caring for your miniature horse, especially if you're interested in shows. Now, I'm here by myself, so I'm not going to be able to show you how to clip your mini, but I can talk about choosing the right clippers and blades for body clipping. So miniature horses have a thick, dense coat. Thank you. And that thick, dense coat means that picking the right tools is crucial for a smooth and even clip. Whether you're clipping for show season, summer comfort, or for medical reasons perhaps, having the right clippers and blades can make all the difference. So I'm not going to cover the actual clipping process in this video because, like I said, I'm here by myself. I am going to do that in a future video. I'm going to start next week probably. But I am going to delve into the best clippers, the brands I like, blade sizes, and what you need for the different parts of your mini's body. There will be some pictures that come up on the screen, and I will provide links to my preferred clippers. I have a couple of brands I like. You may have different brands you prefer, and that's okay too. So, before we get into clippers and blades, I just want to talk about why you might need to clip your mini horse, because I get this question a lot, so I like to say it. Miniature horses grow a thick winter coat. That's correct. They grow a thick winter coat, mister. They do. They grow a thick winter coat. And some of them don't shut it out completely in the summer. So clipping can help them stay cool when the temperatures rise. If you're planning to show your mini, you may have to clip him yes, you do. If you're going to show your mini, you have to clip him if you're going to a show, if he's not in tip-top shape. So you might have to clip him for a neat polished look so that he is ready. Yeah, so he's ready for the show. And if you have a horse with health issues, seriously, I'm just trying to film. Hi, Sauron. Are you done? Thank you. So if you have a horse with health issues like Cushing's disease, sometimes regular clipping can prevent them from overheating. But no matter why you're clipping, using the right clippers and blades will make your job easier both for you and your mini. So let's start with the clippers themselves, because there are a couple of different types. So you might need a pair of heavy-duty clippers. That's what I would need right now to take this off of Shadowfax. These are powerful and designed for full body clipping. They can handle thick coats without overheating. My two favorite, I guess I have three favorite brands for the heavy-duty ones. Wall makes a good one. It's quiet. Thanks. Yes, Wall. Wall is my favorite brand of clippers for ponies. Okay? Just gonna duck under the pony. You're a little big, but good job. He's weird. So Wall makes a good one that I like. It's quiet, powerful. It's a pretty good clipper that stays fairly cool. Mister, why are we so loud all the time? Why are we so loud? It's like 'cause I'm a turkey and I like being loud. But yes, I think the ones I use from that are Wall are the KM10s. I have to double check. Check the description for the link to the ones I like. There is also an Andersen. There's a 2-speed Andersen. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I've used it before. These are a great option that have a couple of speeds, so that can really help. Also, there's an Oster 2-speed that I also really like. It's classic, reliable, strong, and strong is important because, frankly, ponies have this really thick, crazy hair. So if you look at how thick this is, and this pony nose, but if you look at how thick this is, you may need a fairly strong set of clippers. You might also need a set of medium, yes, you might, a set of medium duty clippers. These are good for partial clips, like trimming the legs and the face. They can also be used to trim the entire body if you're only doing 1 or 2 minis. Some people have like 3, 4, 10 minis. And if you have that many minis, then yes, you might be in a position where the heavy-duty clippers are worth the investment. Medium-duty clippers will do it. If you are doing just 1 mini, you're probably fine. Again, I like the Wall. If I can remember what they're called, they might have been the Rivera? Maybe I might be getting that wrong. Again, check the video description. These ones were cordless, and they're really good for precision work. I like those ones because of the cordless nature. There's an Andersen Pulse. These ones have a cord, unfortunately, but they were really good. They were fairly powerful. They were fairly quiet. I think there's a Pulse as well that's cordless, but I didn't have a cordless Andersen. I had the corded one. You're also going to want a pair of trimmers. These are really small and lightweight and best for touch-ups around the face, ears, and bridle path. Here again, Wall and Andersen, Reign Supreme. You can go with cheaper brands. Just know that when you're going with a cheaper brand, it's not going to last you as long. Okay, this is one of those things where for the most part, you're going to get what you pay for. So yes, you can go for a cheaper pair of equine clippers. You can even just go for a pair of pet clippers like you might get for your dog. Just know that they're not going to last that long. Okay, they're not going to last. And because they're not going to last, you might not be entirely happy with having to rebuy them. So just decide what your priorities are. When choosing your clippers, you want to think about how often you're going to be using them. If you're doing full body clippings regularly, like going to shows a lot, then you might need a really good pair of clippers, and you might need multiple types of clippers. You're definitely not going to need that if you rarely clip. So we don't really clip much anymore. I only do it when necessary. We don't do shows or anything with Shadowfax, so he doesn't need a ton of clipping. If you are going to do a ton of clipping, spend the money, invest in a good set of clippers. So now let's talk about the blades themselves. Different blades give different lengths, and choosing the right one for each part of the body is important. For the body clip, the actual body, you want a fairly smooth look. You have different options. How short do you want? Number 10 is too short for me. This is about a 1/16 of an inch left on the hair. I don't love it. It's a little too short for me. I prefer 7, a little bit more, like about an 1/8 of an inch left on the hair. I like that. Some people prefer a 5, which is about 1/4 of an inch. That's fine too. It's going to depend. Like, are you clipping just for your own edification, just for your pony's comfort? You might go a little bit longer. If you're clipping for a show, you might have to go shorter. For the face, ears, and legs, these areas require a little more precision. So a 10 is what I would use, or on the face and stuff. Some people like a 15. 15s are much shorter. Some people like a 30. 30 is really short. These really, you should use a guard comb. Okay, so I do often use a 30. You're going to see me often using a 30. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to trim him with. But I'm going to have guard combs on. And that's what I actually prefer to do. I like using guard combs instead of a clipper with a number 10 blade. I prefer to use a 30 with a guard comb. So that's what I'm going to do. But you might want to use something else. And the reason I use a 30 with a guard comb is because I like to trim the mane and tail. The guard combs are really helpful. Yes, they're helpful. The guard combs are nice for trimming the mane and tail when you don't want to take scissors to it. So I do like to use clippers that have a 30 blade with a guard comb. You might not like that. Okay? You might not like that. You might prefer to use actual clipper blades instead of the number 30 with a guard comb. That's up to you. So there's different kinds of blades. The F, so if it says a 7F or a 5F, these have a smoother finish than the skip tooth blades. Skip tooth are good for rough clipping, but they're not as polished. So if you're using both, you could do your first pass in the skip tooth and then go over with an F, because those are fine finisher blades. You also want to make sure you oil your blades frequently to prevent overheating. Clippers and blades are just part of the equation, however. You're going to need some of the right accessories. You want clipper oil or blade coolant, whatever your clipper recommends. So look at the directions. Usually it comes with a small sample of either the coolant or the oil. Use it as directed by the manufacturer of the clippers you've got. Don't get creative. Yes, we're not getting creative because we're a turkey. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? You're right there. You are right there. Yeah, you're such a beautiful boy. This isn't your video, though. So, if we could, like, be less about turkeys. Yeah? Thank you. Yes, I said that. Anyway. So, yes. Oil and coolant as recommended by the manufacturer. I'm ignoring you now. I'm ignoring you. I'm trying to ignore you. So, yes, recommended by manufacturer. Use what they want. You also might want brushes and cleaning tools. This really helps to keep your blades in top-notch shape if you clean them after every use. Don't put them away dirty. You're going to want extra blades because, trust me, your blades are going to dull at the most inopportune time. If you're using a cordless one, you might want to consider having a few... Hi. You might want to consider having extra batteries lying around. If you're using extension cords, if you don't have cordless, be careful with extension cords. It's really easy to kind of get carried away and be up here with your pony, kind of clipping, and that extension cord ends up wrapped around a leg. And then if your pony spooks, he could end up hurting himself, tripping, hurting you. So definitely watch it with the extension cords. I'm not saying don't use them. I'm saying be extra careful where you have your extension cord and whether or not the pony's going to trip or if anyone's chewing on it. If you have goats around while you're clipping, someone's going to chew on your cord. So just be aware of that. Also, depending on the pony, you either want a really quiet environment while you're doing the clipping or a really noisy one. So for Shadowfax, while I'm clipping him, it's easier for him to be clipped if everybody's making too much noise. Okay? Because then he kind of ignores the clippers. For him, if it's too quiet and you've got the clippers going, he doesn't like that. So you're going to have to be aware of your pony and his preferences. Make sure he's comfortable. So what's the best combination of blades and clippers to the type of clip you're doing? It depends. So I do recommend a heavy-duty clipper if you've never done it before because it's a little easier to work with. And I recommend like a 7-blade. The face and legs, you might do something a little bit smaller than a 7, like a 5 or a 10 the first time. Don't go to a 15 until you've kind of practiced a bit. Okay? I definitely would practice with a longer blade before you use a shorter blade, just because it gives you a little room. It gives you a little room for error, and it's good if you have some room for error. If you're going too short, you don't have any room for error. So remember that if you want a natural looking mane and tail, you either use scissors or guards or just brush them out and leave them. It depends on what you're looking for. Also remember to take into account your pony. What's his tolerance? What does he like? What's he comfortable with? Has he ever been clipped before? If he's never been clipped before, it's not going to be fun the first time. Get some help. Have a helper who is there with you. Sauron is very interested in this video. Yes, I know, bud. I don't have any corn. I'll go get you some corn, okay? But I don't have any. I don't. You can stand there and stare at me all day, but I don't have any corn. I'm sorry. He's annoyed because I don't have corn. Anyway, find out what works for your mini. That's really important. Choosing the right clippers and blades can make body clipping so much easier for you and more comfortable for your mini horse. So that's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Do you have any favorite clipper brands or blade sizes? Drop a comment below and let me know, because I really like hearing what other people use, what works for them, because maybe it'll work for me or maybe it'll work for another viewer. We'll see you tomorrow.